Hello and welcome once again to Solo Board Gaming presents Fields of Fire Volume 1, Mission 1, the Trevier Offensive. And this is turn 4, and it may have to be our last turn. There are 10 turns in the game, and if you look back at the videos I've made, I do far too much talking. Honestly, there are videos out there that will help you cover this game much more quickly than I do. I don't know why it is that there's just too much talking. And when I started this series, I never intended at all, never imagined that it would take this long. So I really must apologise. I think it's been on the table over 3 weeks now, and there are other games that we need to have a look at. And it hasn't been easy the past couple of weeks. Getting back to filming, I think the last turn 3, I probably videoed that, oh gosh, was it 9 or 10 days ago? And of course, we've had the Christmas season, the holidays get in the way since then as well, and there's been a lot of other commitments, family commitments and things like that. Anyway, cut a long story short, the main purpose of the videos, if we go back to my initial thoughts video, was that it was really just to encourage people to say, hey, yeah, you know, this game can be complex, but the basic mechanics aren't. It's just all the little bits of chrome that are added on that can make it complex, especially if you feel you have to refer back to that rule book, which isn't necessarily in the best order, and I'm probably understating that, aren't I, really? So we've tended to, we've made some errors, or rather forgotten a few things, because that's what tends to happen when you play this game. So we'll start turn 4 now, and we are going to start with some real problems, because it's been helpfully and absolutely correctly pointed out to me that my major boo-boo of last turn was that I moved my CO undercover. I've got a platoon commander undercover here, and I've got an out-of-range platoon commander here, and they couldn't have got orders. The CO could not have issued orders from being undercover. And I say that you can ignore some of the rules in this game to make it more playable for you, because it is your game after all, and it is a solo game after all, as long as we get the main mechanics right. And to me, that's a red line. Communication is one of the main mechanics, and that's what we're practicing. We're practicing this art of communication in battle. So, whereas I absolutely can't now retrace my steps at all, I can at least make sure that going forward, I realise that my CO is well undercover there, and comms now are going to be very difficult. So, let's draw. What are we drawing for? Okay. First of all, we're drawing for a potential higher HQ event. Are there any orders from battalion? And we're looking for the radio. There aren't any. Now, for what it's worth, and how do we get out of this, let's draw for CO's orders. It's 4, -1 because he's green. Our current activity is engaged. So it's -1 for being green, it's 3. But he's undercover, so he also gets it back, 4 orders. But what can he do with them? Oh, gosh. He can't. Okay, the only platoon commander he can order, that's right, is 3 platoon HQ. This whole card is under the same piece of cover. So the only platoon commander he can order is 3 platoon HQ. Okay, so he'll do that. Okay, so one of his 4 will be to initiate 3 platoon HQ. Another order will be, what do we have here? Okay, we've got the second squad of 3 platoon. He's going to order up a runner. So he's going to break down that squad for 1. And create a runner. So that's another 2 orders he's used. So he has 1 order left. So he creates a runner and dispatches the runner. That's right. So that's how we get to the fact that he's now used 3 of his commands. So he's created the runner and dispatched the runner. And he's dispatched the runner back here to this part of the staging area. Now, next turn, that runner will be able to activate 1 platoon HQ, which is on this card. So he activated 3 platoon HQ, created a runner and dispatched a runner. So that's 3. And he'll save 1 command. Whoo! And I think that was the best way to to go some way anyway of getting us out of this trouble, because he can't communicate from under that cover. Guys, don't lose your CO under cover in the woods. Okay, now it's the platoon HQ phase for orders, so let's draw for 3 platoon. And 3 platoon get 2 orders. -1 for being green. We get it back for being undercover. So it's 2 orders. Now, what's he going to do? Do we move? Oh dear. Guys, I'm going to use some license here to backtrack. He hasn't used his orders yet, so we know he's got 2 orders to use, but I'm going to backtrack. That saved order of the CO, the CO is going to fire his red flares. Now, at the setup phase, we gave the CO's HQ section red flares, green flares. The red flares were to cease fire. There we go. He's now, there's a flare gone up over the battlefield. We can all see it. We can all see the red flare. So all our troops are going to cease fire. Cease fire! Cease fire! So that PDF comes off. That PDF changes to 1 way. That PDF comes off. And that's our PDFs taken care of. Whoops. That is a problem where we occasionally move a card. Okay. So the troops have ceased fire. And now they're going to immediately open fire again. Because that's what happens in the game. You cease fire, but anyone with a target is going to immediately open fire again. So let's take a look at it. These guys here that were firing along here no longer have a target. So that VOF will come off. There's no target in view. Okay, for this machine gun here that was firing through there. So that's why I've done it. I wanted to get them to cease fire. So they've ceased fire and they won't open fire again. These guys will immediately open fire again. Now, their choice to open fire is currently dictated by the PDF coming at them from this direction here. In other words, the old direction of fire. So they will reopen fire again on that machine gun unit there. We have these guys here who ceased fire, and they got the unit there that they were aiming at before that are producing small arms fire, or, and we had this a turn ago, this choice, there's another unit here, the machine gun unit, which is putting down or producing, projecting an automatic weapons volume of fire. They've ceased fire, and that's made them go, oh, hang on guys, machine gun nest, front right. So they now opened fire instead of against that small arms unit, they've opened fire here. And they too project small arms fire, the same as these guys do, into this card. We don't add another VOF for small arms fire because they don't stack. So the small arms fire is still +0. However, what do? We add a crossfire VOF. There we go. Crossfire. The crossfire is now through this card and from that card. So we've switched to our new target, the heavy machine gun in the foxhole. Okay, so that was it. So the CO no longer has a saved command, and we can go back to 3 Platoon HQ, who has 2 commands. And he's going to save them both. He's going to bank his 2 commands. So he actually has 3 commands saved up because he has 1 banked from the last game turn. So now we'll draw for the Platoon HQ initiative impulse. There were 2 Platoon HQs that never received any orders from the CO this turn. And that's 1 platoon and 2 platoon. Handily enough. So we'll draw for 1 platoon. They'll end up banking these, I think. Oh! 0 for 1 platoon down here. Let's draw for 2 platoon. That's here. 2 orders. There we go. Modified down to 1 for green, +1 again because they're undercover. So we know 1 platoon are doing nothing. 2 platoon can use 2 initiative orders. But what do we do with them? Does he send more troops into this hedgerow here that's still under crossfire, where the casualties are? Do we send troops into this fairly open area here, into the hedgerow? Well, with one of his orders, he could send his LMG team forward. Let's do that. So he sends forward the LMG team. Here they are. That's 2 platoons LMG team. Sends them forward into the hedgerow here. They'll immediately go undercover, but they're also exposed because they're just getting into the cover. But they'll also immediately open fire along the existing PDF, which is here. So at least they've got automatic weapons. So we can take an automatic weapons volume of fire because it's the highest between automatic and small arms. So we can only have 1. So we remove the small arms fire and at least we replace it with an automatic weapons fire. So we've improved the amount of fire going down on this unit here, and that's what we want to do. Although we've taken a risk, and his 1 remaining order, he'll bank it. So now it's onto the CO's staff. Company First Sergeant, he had nothing saved from last turn. He has an automatic 1 order, and he will bank it. He's doing nothing. The XO, who's on this card here, had 3 saved orders, and this turn he gets another order, so that's 4 orders altogether. He needs to do something. He's moving forward himself and the heavy machine gun. and they are going into cover into the village under this cover. But of course, on this particular move, they are, although they are dashing into this cover here, they are exposed. So he's used 2 orders for that. He's got 2 more left, and he's using his final order, he's under that same cover, to move forward the squad from 1 platoon into this card here. There we go. So the XO is moving 1 section, 1 platoon, or first squad, 1 platoon, forward into the orchard. And they are exposed. That's also a big risk, just like this one here. He will now save 1 order. You can see how the communications on this particular turn, because we had people undercover, particularly the CO, has caused us no end of problems. But we're trying our best to get out of that. We've dispatched a runner, we've used the XO and his orders. We're infantry. We have to keep moving forward. If we get bogged down and lose momentum, we've had it. And every infantryman knows that. Finally, let's draw for general initiative. No way. Ooh, 4. There it is, and it's not modified. 4 for general initiative. Okay. Thinks. Probably the most useful. I was thinking we need to try and spot that unit there, because that sniper, although we don't know what he's going to do this turn actually, but that sniper is still unspotted. But there's nobody who has a line of sight to him that we can use to try and spot him. One thing we can do, this LMG unit here, this fire team, this LMG team, can try and concentrate fire. Okay, that's what we'll do. Concentrate fire. Come on. Aimed bursts. Let's try. We're going to draw 2 cards, and we're looking for the target symbol. 1 card, 2 cards. We're looking for the target symbol. Come on, please. Please. Ta-da! Nothing. Okay, come on. Please. We want a target symbol. Ta-da, 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 ta-da! Brilliant. We've concentrated fire. Dagger. Short, well-aimed bursts. So we find our concentrate fire, VOF, which gives us another -1. And as I said, these, like crossfire, etc., do stack. So we can now put, along with the crossfire, we can now put a concentrated fire there, like so. The difference being, of course, during the tidy up phase, the concentrate fire marker will come off, whereas the crossfire marker will stay on. Okay, so that's 1 of the 4, and that was successful. Just. Okay, this unit here will attempt to seek cover. They're not pinned at the moment. They'll attempt to seek cover. Why not? Draw 4 cards. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Okay. On the first one. Cover. Let's have a look at the others anyway. That was the only cover one. So that was good. We've got cover. So they found cover. We like cover. Cover's what we want. So we're lying down in the woods, but we've also found some cover. About time. I can't remember at this stage, and I'm not going to dig through the book, but I can't remember at this stage whether they should be exposed for dashing into that cover. They've been on that card a long time. I'm going to leave it like it is. Okay? And that's another example of me playing the game. We have 2 general initiatives left. Ah, okay. This squad here, surely they've got to try for cover. Because you can't bank these, you see, and I don't want to waste them. So, draw 3 cards in that orchard. Let's see if we can find cover. 1, 2, 3 cards for cover in the orchard. Let's go. Whoa! We're striking lucky this time. Cover. So let's get ourselves another cover marker. You see, boss, we've still got the men moving forward. Still moving forward. Okay. 1 general initiative left. We've just had 2 units seek cover. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? What if the CO himself, because he couldn't get his radio to work from undercover, yes, the CO himself is going to move out of cover by using the last general initiative point. All those remain under cover. The CO has moved out of cover on that card. And that's our general initiative. Okay, enemy. Yes, enemy higher HQ event. We'll draw 1 card. And we're looking for the radio symbol in the actions pane. No! Funnily enough, I was hoping this time for an enemy HQ event because I wouldn't mind another withdrawal, fall back, that kind of thing. Although we don't want the counter-attack, of course. Okay, no enemy HQ event. Now, let's draw to see what the enemy units do. Let's number them. Let's go number 1 for the sniper, 2, 3, and number 4 for the one at the back. Okay, so we're rolling on a D4. Which one we're doing first? D4 is 4. Okay, so the guy at the back. He's not pinned or anything. So we're drawing on the enemy defensive activity hierarchy. He's not on the same card as a US unit. No US unit. Is he an A? He doesn't have an out of ammo marker though. He's not under fire and no line of sight. Let's just make sure again. Yeah, he has no line of sight to a US unit. I keep looking at this one here, you know, because of that white line. But it stops there at that green line. No, he doesn't. He can't get through here. Okay. So, where was that? Not under fire and no line of sight. Remove the unit and place a potential contact marker. Well, we'll remove the unit. That's tidying things up. We won't place a potential contact marker simply because it's outside of our limit of exploitation or our limit of advance. Okay, so he's withdrawn completely now. That's good. That's fine by me. Okay, so we have sniper number 1, patrolling squad number 2, and the HMG number 3. Let's draw on a D3. Which one's next? It's number 1. Now, special rules for sniper. Okay? Now, snipers don't follow the same rules as the rest. Ah, no. If he'd been spotted, for instance, he would now move away, move 1 card away to get out of line of sight. And that's a rule he would follow and keep following. However, because he's not been spotted, he will continue to target this card. Despite there being no target for him, but he will continue to target that card. If you think about it, that makes sense. He stays in his tree, or in his hedge line, or behind his mound, and he keeps a bead on this card here. Or, if within line of sight he had another legitimate target, he would switch fire to that legitimate target. But he doesn't. So his bead remains on this card here. So now we have number 1 and number 2. We're rolling a D2. We're rolling a D2 and we found that it's a 2. So it's the HMG squad. Is he pinned? He is not pinned. What's he going to do? Okay, he's not out of ammo. He's not with the US squad. He's not under fire. He's under fire, not under cover. It's not that one. Under fire from a different direction than its own PDF. Yes, he is now. Actually. Also, yeah. So, we're going to roll on a D4. So let's roll our 4-sided die, and we're rolling a number 4. There it is. There's the result. So back to here. Oh, 3 or 4 out of 4. I was just trying to work that out there then. So a 3 or a 4, and we had a 4 out of 4. Shift PDF to direction of incoming fire. Do you know what? We can't do that. Because the reason I chose that one was because he has a PDF from each direction, doesn't he? Here and here. Oh, maybe I should change that. Well, no. Okay, I'll just keep that as it is. So, what do we do? Do we draw again? Oh, you see, one of these edge cases when I should really just make a decision and carry on with the game. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to decide in his favour. I should do that really, shouldn't I? Shall I decide in his favour rather than mine? And by that I mean the under fire from a different direction than its own PDF. I reckon that's still valid. In which case he's going to not carry out an action. Or we could go down to the next one. He's an HVOF. He's opened fire. He's going to automatically attempt to concentrate fire. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw him 2 cards. I mean, it's not going to help us, no. There's his 2 cards. Let's have a look. We're looking for the reticules, the target. Oh, no! Oh, they both were. Okay, so he's concentrated fire. We're not happy. All of a sudden, his rounds have become pretty accurate. There you go. He's concentrating fire down his his PDF like so. Not a happy bunny, but I just thought that was the fairest thing to do. Okay. We're coming towards the fire resolution phase, but first of all, we moved into this card and we've got to evaluate that potential contact marker. And it's an A. And we don't like it. We go into our little aid card. A. We're engaged. 5. 5 cards. We've got to draw 5 cards, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go for a contact. Oh. Oh, come on, please, please, please. Come on. Come on, we got 2 left. Give us a break now. Come on. Oh! I don't want to turn the card. Somebody else do it. Somebody else do it. No, no, no. Right, okay. No! The last card! The last of the 5. Contact, wait out. Oh. Okay, we're staying calm. And we're going to draw. We're going to roll a D10. Where are we? And we've drawn a 4. Look, there it is, 10. And we've drawn a 4. We're looking on A. And we've got number 9, a defensive position. Let's look for number 9, a defensive position. Will there be a PDF? Yes. Are they spotted? No. Ugh. A squad and a squad. Remember, as I corrected myself before, they're separated by a slash, so they'll be on adjacent cards. But where? Let's have a look. Draw a D10. And we're drawing a 4. There's the 10, look, and there's a 4 just underneath it by my thumb. Let's look at our unit placement. Front at maximum line of sight. And on adjacent cards, if you remember. So, front at maximum line of sight. And by the way, I've drawn, here's the 2 squads. And the 2 I've drawn, one is small arms and one is automatic fire. They're both squad strength. Front at maximum line of sight is going to be here for 1 card. I'll call the small arms unit number 1, the automatic unit number 2. I'll roll a D2 and I've got a 2. So the automatic unit will go there. And according to the scenario rules, we know that the default is under trenches. So there they go. We'll remove that potential contact. Now the remaining squad can't go adjacent there because there's already German units there. So we're going to draw another location. I'll have to move these now. Place them up there. Draw the one off the top. Cemetery, look. Cemetery. Is that a good place for a German position? I don't know. But it's thematic, isn't it? That will go there. To its side. The German small arms squad will go next to it. Next to its buddy, that is, in the cemetery. And under trenches. Oh my goodness. And immediately open fire. And they're not spotted. So they'll be putting automatic weapons VOF down. There's their PDF there. Oops. And PDF there. So we know by now, don't we, that they're also putting a crossfire VOF down. Ouch. Very painful. Oh my goodness. What a result for that contact marker A. Oh, and the last thing, because I forgot to do it. Okay, we've spawned those 2 squads now, but we jumped ahead. We forgot our squad here and their action. And I was waiting to do that because the first thing they're going to do anyway now is switch fire. They've no longer any targets down there. They're not that stupid. They know that. They now switch fire to the next most obvious US enemy unit, and that's here. They were no longer pinned. They no longer have a VOF on them. But they are putting small arms fire down on this card. And of course that finally crossfire marker will come off there. But you can see how easy it is to allow yourself to forget some of the rules. It's very easy to do. I mean, look, We have, is it 5 cards now with enemy activity on it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards with enemy activity on it. And that's quite a lot to keep track of. Okay, combat resolution, fire resolution, resolved in any order we like. I think we'll do this one here first. Now don't forget, these units are not spotted. That's units in the woods here, in the cemetery over there. Both putting fire down, creating a crossfire onto this card here. Okay, my units are undercover, or this squad is undercover, but it's also exposed. So, let's go. It's all one-way traffic. We have +1 for the orchard, +2 with the cover. -2 because we know we're exposed, so that's 0. So now we have -1 for the automatic fire, -1 for the crossfire, -2 in total. Let's draw a card and take a look at the result. -2 is a hit. What kind of a hit? Our units are line, and they're a full squad, so we're going to use both of these, the P and the L. So paralysed and a litter team. Ah, not good. So our squad here, paralysed and a litter team. So 2 of the steps are hurt bad. We've got the litter team. There, look, single step unit. We've got a paralysed unit. The 1 remaining step becomes a fire team, which is limited action. Okay, they're undercover. I'll just remove the exposed thing because their combat is over anyway. I'll just remove the exposed thing for next time. Not good. That's what's happened to the first squad of 1 platoon. Caught in that crossfire and mown down, basically, as they're trying to get into that cover in the orchard, with 2 full squads opening up on them from fairly close range. Now let's do this combat here. We've got 2-way fire going down there and a crossfire marker going in there. So let's look at the fire we're putting down first. They have a +2 and a 1 for a total of +3. -1, -2, -3. So it's 0. Let's draw. 0 is pin. So we've pinned them. Like so. Oh, and I forgot, by the way, our units here under that cover are also pinned. All hits also produce a pin result. They're fired down on us. We've got +2, +3, and they have a -1 for automatic, a -1 for concentrated fire. So it's a +1. We draw on +1. And it's a miss. There it is, +1 is a miss. And that's just what we wanted. Good. And before I forget, the fire down from there, now that they're pinned, becomes all pinned. And the concentrate fire will come off. Although, as you know, technically that's in the tidy up phase. I'll take it off now. And the concentrate fire there will come off. There's nothing to resolve here, so we're left with this then, which is 1-way fire. Look, this squad still wandering around that farm building is now putting down small arms fire into here. which is not going to be clever. So let's look at the result on our LMG team first, because they have a -2, you see. So we've got the +2, but then it's minused. So we're back to 0 plus 1. Okay, so the result is +1, and that's what we're going to look at. It's a hit. Now that is bad luck. Bang! They're taking us out. It's a hit. Let's have a look. Line unit. It's a P. Paralysed! We take just the first one because it's a single step unit. Paralysed. We are being hit bad here now, folks. That's no fun at all. So we remove that LMG and replace it paralysed. I'll take out that exposed marker now. Ouch. And now the rest of them, who is under there, by the way? Oh, it's 3rd Squad 3 platoon, and it's an assault team. So let's do the assault team first. Now we have +2 and 3. So we're rolling on a +3, aren't we? Yes, because the volume of fire is only small arms, which is 0. So we're rolling on a +3. Whoa, it's a miss. Okay, so the assault team's fine. Now for the squad, exactly the same. We're rolling on a +3, and it's still a miss. Excellent. So at least the second half of that action was a decent result. And that's it at end of turn 4. We've got a huge enemy fire base here to take care of. It's so odd where I've had no enemies spawning, for instance, on the same card. No enemy artillery or mortars. And also odd that all of my enemies have spawned at max line of sight, so which is why eventually we've built up a row of them here, and see how the battlefield has expanded. We've been hit hard all the way along this row. Here, where we've got paralysed and litter team, and we're pinned. Our LMG team became paralysed here. The rest are okay. We've got the casualties still here, with the sniper still having a bead on that card. We've had communications problems. Now, hopefully, we will have resolved that for next turn and we can really get something going. For instance, if we were doing a turn 5, and I do apologise again that I simply can't do it, but if we were doing a turn 5, this is what we would do. The CEO is now in the open, so he can now communicate here with 2 platoon, and we can get something going. That's still a strong platoon just there. Also, we sent a runner who arrived at 1 platoon HQ down here. Now what that means is next turn the CO will be able to activate, because the runner's done it for him, 1 platoon. You see, so that's how that works. The next thing that we would be doing, this strong building here, it's taken us time to do it, but now we've got the XO with the heavy machine gun, and we can get him upstairs into the upper story. So we can see right the way across the board. And that, look at that, is going to help us there with the heavy machine gun. So we're going to be putting +3s down over here, firing over these heads. Also, next turn, we'll want to move our artillery forward observer with the XO and the HMG up into that upper story in the village. So now we've got the artillery observer who will be able to see across the battlefield. And hopefully we can put some fire down again, for instance, through here. And that's it. And unfortunately, that's where I have to leave it. It's my fault it's been here on the table for 3 weeks, which is at least 2 weeks longer than I imagined it, simply because I simply haven't been able to get the video time to actually get this completed. I must thank all of you that have followed it avidly and for all your comments, that they've been brilliant, absolutely stupendous. I've enjoyed those comments more than anything. They've been really, really encouraging, and that helps a lot. But at the same time, for those people that have followed all the way through, I do apologise that here we have to leave it. There are other games we need to get to the table now. Hopefully it's inspired one or two of you. I think it has from seeing some of those comments, and that's brilliant. That's really pleasing. So thanks for watching. Please tune in again and let's see what we're going to get to the table next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.